People don't show up for you unless there's a photo opportunity. Let's get into it. People these days don't show up for you unless there's something in it for them. If they can't benefit from the situation, from the event, from the programming, they don't show up, period. And the funny thing is, they're the first ones to complain that nobody supports them, but yet and still, they never support other people. I'm realizing that a lot of the support nowadays is performative. It is based on this quid pro quo. You do for me, I'll do for you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's never genuine or sincere or coming from the heart. It's always based on what another person can receive. And I realized that I've had to cut off certain friendships, certain quote unquote friendships, certain relationships, because I always felt like the only reason I would be given support or even investment is because of how well I pour into these people. They don't like me, they like my hand. They like me constantly pouring into them. They don't really like me, they like the attention I give them. And that's this generation, you know? They will not show up for you unless there's a photo opportunity for them. Unless they could take 1,000,001 model looking pics so that way they can get the praise, the validation, the likes, you know? And all that for a like. It's just ridiculous how our society has turned us into like fiends. We're some like fiends. Oh, you got that like? You got that like? I'm gonna need that like. I need that, please. It's ridiculous. And people are not genuine these days. Everybody these days is just, they're just constructs. They're constructs, they're phonies. Everything is performative. You know, these stylized gestures. You know, this stylized, just props, trying to act, you know? Stylized posturing, that's what I call it. Stylized posturing, where people, they want to give you the real like version, but it's not reality. It's not reality, it's just real like. It's just real enough to be believable, you know, and not to be suspected. But to be honest, when you're a real person, you recognize fake stuff all the time. You could just spot it. And it's clear as day. You know, your third eye is open. Your insight is open. Your heart is open. Your mind is open. You're starting to perceive things, especially when you start to go through a shift. When you start to shift, you see the unreality of everyone and everything. You see the unreality of everyone. And a lot of the spaces that I was really aligning myself with were not real. And I kept on going because I wanted a connection. I sought a genuine connection, but it wasn't genuine. The only thing that was genuine was my desire to connect. The people, they were not genuine. And so I had to distance myself. And that's why right now I'm in my spiritual solitude mode. Like right now I'm in my solitude era, because I don't want to be around people who are just going to infect my energy with their selfishness, with their inconsideration, with their cruelty, you know? And that low-key abuse and passive aggressiveness. Nah, I need to be away from that. That's not good for me. And so I've distanced myself from a lot of spaces. I've realized that a lot of people, they offer performative support. They give you the illusion of support, but it's never actually genuine, you know? I realized that there were people who would show up to events only because they were in the performance, but then they want to say, come out and support. Yes, support. Or this is how I support. Or they want to basically show how they support by videotaping themselves at every event. You know, it's just the motive for me. The motivation is to just get praise, get validation, get all these likes. And it's just, we're doing this for what? What is the motive behind it? I think a lot of the motives these days are selfish, they're impure. And that's why right now I don't expect support from people. I expect myself to support me. If I support me, that's what matters. That's my definition of success, how well that I invest and support myself. Because I can't rely on other people. I'm realizing that if you constantly rely on other people for support, you will always feel angry. You will always feel shortchanged. You will always feel upset, unseen, unheard. But when you are constantly pouring into yourself that stream of support, you're going to feel so much better. I base my success on my own efforts and not the efforts of other people, because you will always feel unsuccessful. As long as you look for that external validation from other people, you're going to always feel incomplete. It's going to keep you out here starving, because you got people out here hungry for validation, hungry. They'll do anything, anything. They'll dress anyway or undress anyway. They'll say anything just to get a response. They'll call it being provocative or controversial, when really behind all that is a desire for attention, is a desire to be superior, above people, to be the it girl or the it boy. You know what I'm saying? Behind all that is this desire to always just elevate themselves. And it's that selfishness that's destroying this world. You can't find a decent friend anywhere these days because nobody wants to offer genuine support. No one wants to offer that genuine love and support. And if they do offer it, you better believe that there's a price tag waiting for you in the end. It's never free. It's never given freely. It's never given just generously. There's always a motive behind it, an agenda. And so I say this, these days you have to look for the price tag. If someone is supporting you, where's the price tag? Because you know that it's coming soon. I think a lot of people these days are really good at showing other people how something can benefit them if they want their investment. That's the name of the game. I have to show you how this benefits you in order to get your investment. And that to me is disingenuous, because it's not real support that you're offering. The only reason why you're offering is because you're getting something out the deal. So is that really genuine? And that brings me back to my initial statement. People these days will not show up for you unless there's a photo opportunity, unless they get an opportunity to take some novel pic, unless they get an opportunity where they will be elevated and that other people will praise them, like them, be jealous of them, because that's another feature. A lot of people like you when you're jealous of them. They like your envy. Your envy feeds their delusions of grandeur. I'll say that again. Your envy feeds their delusions of grandeur. They have these beliefs that they're superior, And it feeds into their superiority complex when they can make you jealous or envious. They feel like, oh, my life must be this wonderful, wonderful thing. And the thing about it is this, don't envy people, because when the cameras go off, these people are crying. They're miserable, miserable. This is why, as you can see around me, I show you my house. My house is a mess right now. And this is the reality. This is reality. When I turn off this camera, it's still going to be a mess because I don't feel like cleaning today. And so the thing about it is this. A lot of people will have all these props to make it seem a certain way, but don't buy into that illusion. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, because a lot of people are just broke down messes. And they don't want you to see that, so they basically put on these social cosmetics to try to hide it. But in reality, it's just a bunch of nonsense. So don't buy into it. Don't buy into it. And don't be jealous. So don't be envious of people, because the ones you're so jealous of and you want to be more like, guess what? They're trying to be like you. Or they're trying to be like somebody else. Everybody's trying to be like everyone else except themselves. How crazy is that? But I just think, something? If you're going to do something, do it because it's in your nature, because you want to give, because it's heartfelt. Don't sit up there and just give because you expect to receive, because that is really no gift at all, Or if you're giving because you want the praise and the approval of other people, no, the scriptures mention that too. I believe it's in Matthew, where it mentions how don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Don't sit up there and try to give gifts for the praise of other men or women, because then your sacrifice is in vain. You already got your reward on earth. The scriptures say to store your treasures in heaven. And what that means is you don't have to let people know that you're giving something. You don't have to take 1,000,001 pictures or videos showcasing that you gave somebody something. Is that really necessary? It's not. So my thing is this: be real, love real. Because all this fake performative love, it's just not. It's not, and you can't feel it. It's kind of like this food that we're eating nowadays. It's genetically modified, full of GMOs. And so we're not getting our nutrition. We're breaking down. I see 20-year-olds with gray hair in their head because of stress and poor diet. We're not getting the real. We're getting plastic fruit. We're getting plastic rice. We're getting plastic, all this thing. We're getting plastic love. We're getting plastic love. Where's the real love? You can be that real love. Try your best to be that real love, because everything else is just a bunch of nonsense. It's just a bunch of nonsense. So I hope this video lands on your heart. Please let me know what your experiences are with dealing with people that are just offering that performative support, because I know it's got to be rough on you too. And so I wish everybody a wonderful day. And the rest of 2023, party like a rock star. Peace, y'all.